Hi, this is Alex. After my previous video where I reviewed 17 window managers, I received many comments saying I missed one window manager or another. Well, since I titled the video, I tested every Mac window manager in 2024, I'll keep my word. And in this video, we'll feature 13 more window managers, and some of them have truly unique features. So try find one I missed now. Let's get started. So the first app in today's bunch of window managers is Mosaik, and it's quite interesting app with some unique features. And price for this app it's $15, and it also have 7 days trial, so you can try it. And let's go straight to the menu and see what this app is capable of. So here we can see general settings. It's just common settings. Do you want to launch Mosaik at login and all that stuff? And let's go to straight to layout. And here we can assign some layouts we want to see in this app. For example, we want to create some specific layout for, I don't know, for chat window or something like that. We can add it here. And we also can combine layouts into the groups. And here from this drop-down menu, we can assign groups. For example, if we today working with 3 apps, we can use 3 app groups, and layouts included in these groups will appear in this drop-down menu. For example, we want to move this window here, and we want to move this browser window here. And if we open Finder, let's move this here, and it works pretty fast and pretty interesting. Another interesting feature of this app, we have quick layout, so we can choose how we want to resize and move this window. And also in the general menu, we can specify margins between windows. Now it's 0 because I don't like any margins between windows, but if you like it, you can add some margins. And now we have margins. And here's the layouts. Here's groups we want to see in this drop-down menu. And here's the positioning. And here's the 2 different way how we can trigger this drop-down menu. And we also can specify where we want to see this drop-down menu. For example, if we press this combination of keys, let's try actually this. Well, we can see and we can open this grid of layouts in the middle because I want to see it in the middle. It's this click and select, and I want to see this layout as grid. We can also specify see it as a column, as a row, and as a docket, and will appear on top of our screen. And also we can specify what group of layouts we want to see when we press these specific key combinations. So if you still have a touch bar on your Mac, you also can use this touch bar, and layouts will appear on the touch bar, and you can use it directly from there. And here we can change settings of the quick layout. So you can choose grid 10 by 10, or you can add even more to make more precise resizing of the window. And quite interesting feature, it's a remote control of this app. So you can install in theory, because I tried and for some reason it doesn't work for me because this app is not available for me for some reason. But if it works for you, you can install app on your iPhone or iPad, I guess, and you can change layout from your phone. It's kinda predecessor of the Stream Deck or something like that, but this feature is quite unique. And also you can create auto layout for the applications. For example, if we drop this window into the auto layout, we can specify where we want to see windows from this app. And I want to choose large left for the browser. And let's use another window, and let's choose I want to see on the top right. Then let's choose another window, auto layout, and let's choose bottom right. And then we can resize and move all of those windows as we want. And then if we drag this window into this auto layout, it will automatically go to the area we specified before. So something like that, and it goes there, and our browser will go there. That's quite convenient, I guess, and it works pretty well. So what else we have in the settings? So here we can specify margins for quick positions. So when we move window like that, we also can specify what margins will be applied to this window. And that's probably it. This was Mosaik, and this quite interesting app and super customizable, and it has some interesting features. And we're moving forward to the next one, Wins. And what's interesting about this app, it's built in into the system settings. So basically, it looks like it's a part of macOS, and it's not so expensive. It's a regular price $14, and now you can buy it for $8.3. And I already installed it and provided all the necessary permissions so we can test it. And as you can see, you can find settings for these applications in the system settings. And here there's some interesting things. So it has regular snap areas and all that stuff. It has this fancy drop down menu where we can specify where you want to move this window. That's quite interesting. And there's also some more interesting features as like that Mission Control Pro. So when you pull up Mission Control, you can close window directly from here. And another interesting thing is dock preview. So you can preview windows directly from dock. So for example, if you have several windows from one application, you can preview all of them and choose what you need. So that's quite interesting and I like it, and pretty simple, but it's not super expensive and definitely worth to check. So check this out. So, and the next app is Bayview, and it's pretty simple app, but it works pretty fast and do its job. And let's see how it works. So let's go to the settings and let's check what it's doing. So we can assign shortcut for the activating this app. I already assigned this app, and let's see how it works. So if I press this key combination I assigned recently, I can specify size of the window, and that's it. So we can move window, we can resize window using this grid and all of that stuff. And also we can create dimension of this grid. So by default it's 6 by 6, but we can increase it to more precisely move and resize our windows. And also we can assign different shortcuts for increase and decrease windows, move up and down and all that stuff. And also we can create different layouts. For example, we want to cover this area by our window and we can name it. And also we can create separate shortcut for this layout. And yeah, that's it, $10. And for the $10, we're getting pretty simple app that is doing its job. It's quite interesting, not bad, works pretty fast. So the next app is Lasso, and this app looks quite nice. So price for this app is $11, or you can pay $17 and install on 3 Macs. I do really like the design and how it looks like, and just take a look on this icon. I really like this icon, but let's see how it works. So I already assigned my key combination to my Stream Deck, so I can easily run it. And when I press this key combination, it will show me all the monitors I have connected to this computer, and I can easily assign this window into the specific area. For example, I want to see it here, or I want to move this window here, or I want to easily move this window into another monitor. And also we can use this grid, like a free grid, and we can use a specific layout. So we can record layout and we can grab layouts directly from here. For example, I want to assign this layout for Arc. And the next time we can choose this layout directly from here. And I do really like design of this app and simplicity and how it works. It works pretty fast. Here, I like that we can choose where we want to activate this menu. We can activate on the frontmost active window, or we can activate on the window under mouse cursor. Quite useful, so it will save some clicks here. So you can just move mouse and then activate this quick menu and just move this window wherever you want. Here's some additional settings you can choose. Here's the most important settings of this app. You can specify key combination you want to use with this app. And also you can change grid for different monitors connected to this computer. And you can also specify distance between those windows, just dragging those two small windows. So you can assign some more shortcuts here. And that's probably it. So the next app is OneMenu from Marco. And this app also was mentioned in the comments. And It's not only window management app, it's also monitoring of CPU, memory, and disk, and also clipboard history. And let's go to the preferences and let's. So here we can specify window spacing, and here we also can see all some predefined layouts, and we can create some more. But if you go to the website, there's nothing about price. But when you try to create a custom action, it turns out it's a pro feature. You have to pay $13 for the app. So let's see how it works. In regarding to the window manager, it's pretty simple window manager. It's just to have a capture area, so we can move window just by mouse, or we can use those shortcuts. We can also change those shortcuts, or we can create custom layouts and assign shortcuts to those layouts. That's pretty simple, but if you need that combination of monitoring, clipboard history, and keyboard cleaning feature, yeah, that's maybe this app is for you. So, and some people also mention about Spectacle, and I checked that app too, and it turns out this app hasn't been updated since January 15 of 2024. And to be honest, I don't see any reason to install and test this app because it seems like it's abandoned already. And let's move to the next one. So the next app is MacsyZones, and this is the website of this app. It looks pretty fancy, and you can get this app for free. But if you want to support developer, you can pay $7. And I already installed that app, and let's check what this app about. So all the settings, it's basically here in a drop-down menu. So the idea is pretty simple. We can create our layouts, and then we can create different zones. For example, here I want to see one zone, then I can add one more, and then I can add another, and then I can save. And then I can move windows into those zones. For example, I can move it here. Let's create another one, and then I can put it here. And we can easily switch between different layouts. So here's my another layout. And let's say I want to put my browser here. And also you can assign trigger button. In my case, it's Control. And when you press Control and start dragging window, for example, we have this window is active. We don't need to press anything. We can press Control, then choose where we want to put this up. And sometimes it works, sometimes it's not for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Okay, maybe it's because it's detecting this zone. And also interesting feature, and I'm not quite sure is it bug or is it on my system. So when you activate this drag, and for example, we can like move this window here, and I want to put this window in this area number 3. And if I press somewhere here, it also pressing into the content of this window. Or you can also move window using different way. You can shake window and then drop into the area where you want to see that. Quite interesting approach, and I think it's interesting idea to have different layouts, and you can switch between those layouts, and I like that. That's pretty interesting app. So next app I found in App Store, it's Align, organized app windows. Cool, and I already installed it, and it looks quite promising. But let's open and see how does it work. Let's open some windows. Let's open Finder, and let's try to resize that window. That's interesting. So it's basically use shortcuts, and it's basically triggering shortcuts to move and align windows. That's crazy. So basically, this app just creating shortcuts and then triggering those series shortcuts through the menu. It's quite interesting approach, but I don't think I was expecting that. So let's try. And shortcuts doesn't work. And you also can upgrade to the pro version and pay. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but for the app, which is basically creating series shortcuts in your system, no. No, thank you. We're going to the next one. So the next app is snApp, which is powerful window manager, and I already installed it and see. Let's see how powerful is it. So the first run, it's asking us what's the appearance we preferred, Windows or iPadOS. Let's choose iPadOS and hit next. And again, as previous app, it's trying to install some Siri shortcuts, and let's see what's actually the shortcuts it's trying to install. Okay. Yeah. This app is going to leverage built-in Siri shortcut actions, and I don't think it's the right way. So I don't like it. If I want to use shortcuts, I can do it, but I don't want to install app for that. So yeah, thank you. That's the probably not the right way to manage Windows. So the next app from the App Store is Divvy, and price for this app is $14, and the last update of this app was 5 years ago. I don't think I want to spend $14 for this app. And here's another window manager from the App Store, Windows snApp, and I already installed it. And seems like all the window managers from the App Store can work only through the Siri shortcuts. It might be a limitation of the platform or something like that, but I don't see any reason why somebody want to install some app and which is installing just the Siri shortcuts and trigger these Siri shortcuts. There's like absolutely no sense to do that. But I mean, here's how it looks like. And the first running, it's immediately asking you about to pay $12. And as we can see, it's rating, it's not so good, but I don't see any reason to continue with this app. But I'm just doing for somebody in the comments, not telling me, hey, you forget about this pretty good app from the App Store, and there's a lot of window managers you not covered in this video. So I covered all of them. And next window manager is Assembl. And looking for the website, it looks pretty fancy. Let's see how it actually works. And yeah, and here's all the settings of this app. It's basically only we can do is just assign shortcut of this app. And okay, we assigned this shortcut. Let's see how it works. So here we have only one window opened. And something goes wrong. Okay. Probably this is not the window manager you want to install on your system. So the next one is Grid Window Manager for macOS. And looking for the website, I can say probably this app hasn't been updated for a while. Okay, it's already installed. And for some reason, all of those shortcuts, it's not active. But let's check what it's we can find in the preferences. Okay, and as you can see, we can just change shortcuts for predefined layouts. And also we can use gestures for Magic Mouse and Magic Trackpad. And yeah, that's it. Pretty simple app, but price of this app, it's $3.95. I don't see any reason to pay that money for this app because it seems like it's abandoned. So the next and the last one for today is Swish, and this app for some of you who don't use mouse and use only trackpad. Unfortunately, I don't have any trackpad now because I use mouse, but I installed this app and I'll show you what's the settings available for you in this app and what this app is capable for. So here we can see using just a trackpad and different gestures, we can move and resize windows around our screen. We can close, we can minimize windows, we can switch and move window to the different screen and different spaces. That's actually a pretty cool app, and probably it's gonna be useful if you only use trackpad. So here's the settings. In a general, here's the setting for Windows, so we can use a pinch to close or quit from app. Snapping, so we can change settings for snapping area and all of that stuff. So here's some predefined layout, so we can enable or disable some of them. So there's a second modifier and all that stuff. Here's the Also, we can run and or close app if we swipe on the dock on the menu of this app on the dock. We can minimize and unminimize, switch between different windows of this app. That's actually really interesting. Menu bar, so we also can do some stuff through the menu bar. And here's the advanced settings. So I do really like this app. It's super customizable and probably it's super powerful. And for now price, it's $8, but the regular price, it's $16. And for some of you who don't use mouse, that's probably the way. Well, I hope this was helpful. I believe these were all the existing window managers. If you found something useful, please like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next videos.